Texans get a much-needed W and do something for the first time ever while providing good vibes for the first time as well. Let's go inside the locker room, react to the Texans dub in the locker room postgame show.
Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not too. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube.
It is the locker room postgame show. I am Landry Locker. Texans with a much-needed win. They needed this. I know, look, Baltimore's team, they're depleted, but the Texans needed this win, and they got it, and the bye week comes at a perfect time. Texans do something that they'd never done. They'd never won in Baltimore, and for the first time really all season, I would say the vibes are high, and appropriately so. Are all the problems solved? No. You've beat 2 bad teams, and this version of the Ravens is a bad team. I think they're as bad as the Titans, and you've lost to 3 good teams. But not all is lost. Your goals are still in front of you, and the Texans enter the bye week feeling pretty good about themselves with a Monday night game against Seattle, then the longest homestand of the season, and you get the Tennessee Titans. And the goal that we had laid out when they started out 0-3 was get to 5-5, and now you can maybe even get greedier and feel good about it. Is all right with the offense, though? That is the question. Baltimore, the 44 points that they allowed is the highest number allowed by a Ravens defense in the Harbaugh era. So that's nothing to yawn at. I know that they're a handful of guys, their best players were out, but this looked the way that it should look. And the thing that we need to acknowledge is that the experts took a strong stance before this game. They took a strong stance before this game when it comes to the Texans. It is the locker room post-game show presented by Sleeper, but they took a stance that they did not believe the Texans were a good team. And even with all these Ravens injuries, they felt that the Texans were just 1.5 points better, which was basically a coin toss. And when you're a Texans team that is trying to get up to the level that the Ravens have been in recent years, that should not be the case. Now, are you going to be a 30-point favorite? No. And that's why the Texans should feel good about it. CJ Stroud, one of the better games of his career. He was making plays with his arm. He was making plays with his legs. He was seeing the field, making the first guy miss a couple of times. CJ Stroud, best game that we've seen him play since when? Do we have to go back 2 years for that? So you feel good about that. There's new offensive weapons emerging. Told y'all that British Brooks would be a factor. We'll get to that in a sec. And they're sprinkling in the rookies. 2 more guys with their first career touchdowns today in Jalen Knoll, who, by the way, what a disrespectful move to hit him with the Ray Lewis. And then one of the stars of training camp, Xavier Hutchinson. He scores a touchdown. It looks exactly like he did in training camp. But look, when the money and the experts say that you're a 1.5 point favorite with all the injuries Baltimore has, and you go kick their ass by 34, it's not something to minimize. It's not something to minimize. I think perspective is still appropriate in that this is not a good Ravens team, but they did what a good team should do to a team like Baltimore, this version of the Baltimore Ravens. So I don't think you can minimize that. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the video. They've upped it. I had to reread this when I saw it, but Sleeper is now going to, not only can you get a 100% match up to $100 for first-time users when you use the promo code LOCKER, but you get $20 with no deposit needed. if some of you have been skeptical about wanting to play higher, lower, have no fear. It's free. $20. Go there. And you can still get 100% match up to $100. So the rich get richer with that. So if you've been hesitant about Sleeper, download the app. I think it's the best sports app in the game. I follow scores there now. And I like to see what they got going. It gets rid of a lot of the crazy stuff. But now you can not only get the 100% match that a lot of first-time users have taken advantage of, you can also get just $20 right off the rip. My plays for right now with Sleeper are on the higher lower. I'm partaking in the Tennessee Arizona game. So I'm saying Kyler Murray higher than 221.5 yards. Brown with the dink and dunk that they got going on in Cincinnati. I got him with over 2.5 receptions, and then Cam Ward 184.5. That's just low. There could be some mop-up duty there. So that's where I'm at, and I got the 4 to 1 odds. So my $10 will get 40 plus in this game of skill. Best DFS in the game. So take advantage of that Sleeper app. Free $20 deposit, and the match still up to $100. What a combo that is. DeMeco Ryans, we're about to hear from him in a second, but DeMeco Ryans, I think he's got to feel pretty good about not just the offense and how much better Nick Caley's offense looks, but he's got to feel a lot better about what this defense is doing. And the biggest nitpick on the defense, and the standards are very high, but the biggest nitpick on this defense that I've had is that they weren't really taking the ball away as much. And you saw it today. Jalen Petrie, probably the best game of his career, arguably the best play of his career on that interception to start the second half. So you got to feel really, really good about that. And then you also got to feel good that the offense is now gelling. Let's hear from DeMeco Ryans here on the Locker Room postgame show. DeMeco kind of downplayed the absence of Lamar Jackson. We clearly saw that they missed him, but let's hear what DeMeco had to say after the win live out there in Baltimore. Let's hear from DeMeco Ryans, head coach of the Houston Texans.
First and foremost, just all glory, honor, and praise to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Just thankful for the grace that we've been shown. Yeah, just what we're able to do, what we get to do. Proud of all of our guys for the way they showed up today and executed in all 3 phases of the game. Guys played the game the right way. We finished it the right way, and couldn't be more proud of everyone, just as an organization, for us to come up here and get our first win in Baltimore. It means a lot to a lot of people here, and proud for all of our guys to be able to be a part of that.
CJ, 4 touchdown passes and completed almost every throw. What did you see from him and how he executed?
Hey, bro.
What I saw from CJ today was his demeanor. He was very calm. He's very under control the entire game, right? Didn't get flustered. They got back there on a couple plays. He didn't allow that to fluster him. He continued to press forward, continued to make plays, make great decisions with the football. So I'm just proud of him having the resolve to just continue to push through. He had a nice rush there to get us in the red zone. He just made smart plays with the football all day.
Coach, how much of this was about you all just executing what you need to do and blocking out everything as far as coming into this game with the Ravens injuries? How much of just focusing on what you want?
It's always all about us and our focus. And no matter who we're playing, no matter where we're playing, if we're locked in the right way and we execute, we do the things that are required to win football games. Like, that's what it looks like. No matter who you're going against. Like, when you play the right way and you execute, that's what it should look like.
As he said, you got to get in front of the train, referring to Derrick Henry. What did you feel about the role you guys go also using that 5?
Hey, bro.
Yeah, for us defensively, that was our main goal. We knew we had to stop the run. We knew Derrick Henry would get more touches. He would try to get more opportunities. And our guys did a really nice job starting up front with our defensive line. Our tackles played really well. Our ends set the edge, and we tackled really well. Really got to watch the film, but just watching it from the sideline, I felt us tackle much better as a team. And it was multiple guys at the ball. every single time they ran the ball. So I'm very proud of us. And as we go throughout the season, the one thing I implore our team about is just let's just get better. Like each and every week, let's just get a little bit better each and every week, and our team will continue to get stronger.
Can you talk about what you guys did up front today offensively? Pretty good job of keeping CJ upright for the most part and some changes.
Yeah, offensively, I thought our offensive line did a really nice job of protecting. CJ had a lot of time in the pocket to make those decisions and make the good throws that he made. So really proud of those guys, and also running the football. Like we were able to run for over 160 yards. For us to run the ball that way, it's a credit to our offensive line. It all starts there: tight ends, receivers, everybody getting involved in blocking and staying with it. And our backs did another great job again this week.
DeMeco, what does it tell you? I think CJ hit 10 different targets today. What does that tell you about where he is in his progression with the offense? And he looked very, as you were, comfortable in rhythm all day long, that wide of a right.
Yeah, I love to see him spreading the ball around to multiple guys, everybody getting involved, and that just shows his growth. Where we're not just looking for one guy. He's going through his progressions. He's playing the play, and whatever is there, he's taking it. And our playmakers, when they're getting the football in their hand, they're making plays. They're converting first downs, keeping us on the field, allowing us to sustain drives. So love that he was able to dish it around to multiple guys today.
What would you say even about Kaylee's role? Is this what you expected?
Kaylee's done a great job, and it didn't show the first weeks, and because we didn't execute well. Like we came out today and guys executed. We run our offense the right way. We run our defense, our special teams. When we do it the right way, it's what we're capable of doing. We just have to stay the course, everybody, and continue to get better. That's coaches, that's players, everybody. And we're all in this together. We're all growing. We're all getting better as the season continues to go along.
You also talked about takeaways. Excuse me, you guys had a few of those.
Yeah, Petrie, outstanding game. He's known for flying around, blitzing, and being in the opponent's backfield a lot. But the way he showed up around the football today, for him to take the ball away 2 times, man, that's outstanding by him. He has 3 on the year. Proud of him and what he's doing. He's all over the field, creating chaos. And Kamari goes in and closes the game out for us right on the go ball. So outstanding job. I was happy for Kamari to finally get one. I talked about it throughout the week. He did it in practice all throughout the week and came up short, got a couple pass deflections a couple times, but now to see him actually get it, I was very proud of him for that because he's worked hard at it for the past 2 weeks. So to finally see it come to fruition, that was cool. Cool moment.
Coach, with the way that the season started, how does it feel going into this bye week with back-to-back wins?
And you always want to go in the bye week with the win. It's much better when you roll in with the win, and we'll get a chance to take a breather here, reset. And I want our guys to feel like where we are as a team over the past 2 weeks. Like, remember that feeling, remember what it feels like, and not the outcome. You got to remember that process. Like, how do we work to get here? How was your week of practice? How was your week of preparation? Like, that's where our guys, right, have done an outstanding job these past 2 weeks. And when we come back on the next week, I expect the same thing. So I'm proud of the guys for how they prepare and how they work throughout the week. The results will take care of themselves.
Preseason and offseason, you call Xavier one of the most improved guys on the team, and now today gets an insult for the first 2 times in his career.
Man, Hutch is the guy who's just shown like what hard work looks like. Like you don't get a lot of credit until he's getting better in the background. A lot of people don't see it, but Hutch is one of the hardest working guys on our team, and there's no better guy to be able to get 2 touchdowns a day than Hutch because he's worked really hard for us. So proud of him for having his moment today.
I know you always talk about looking forward and not worrying about last year.
Right.
I think most of us do remember that Christmas Day game. It didn't go so well. You just talk about being able to get beyond that and also the first win in Baltimore.
Yeah, that game last year is hard one to watch. I had to go back and watch it, and I had to face it. Like we did not play well enough, did not stop the run. So we did not score enough points. We didn't do anything well on that game, and it was a disappointing game for how we showed up. But you can't dwell on that. It was different teams, new year, new season. Like it's just about us and this year, this team, and how do we prepare? How do we get better? How we come out and finish the game? And that's That's what stuck out to me the most, like how everybody did what they needed to do. And that's what I'm proud of. That's what's going to continue to propel us forward.
You mentioned going back and seeing that game. Did you see that go back recently, or was that last year you were talking about?
No, I went back this year and watched the game.
And can I ask you, like, as you're watching that, you know, I know you said it was tough to watch, but is that motivating you, or how are you looking at that? Is it just to
No, it's not motivating me. I know what happened, know the feeling from how that game played out. Just going back through and just really just as a coach, just going through the process of schematically, like what are some things and challenges that they executed on really well that we needed to fix. So that's what all coaches do that through anytime you go through, you face an opponent another time. So it's just going, for me as a coach, it's going through the process. A lot of crying, a lot of laughing watching that game.
last one, sir. Coach, you talk about resiliency a lot. After the Raiders were able to get that big 56-yard pass to I would say when they scored again, the offense turned right back around and had a 47-yard pass, and then they end up scoring. Jalen Hall getting his first touchdown. Did you just see that type of resiliency from your team today to just keep their foot on the gas and keep going?
Yeah, I saw it. It was a disappointing play for us defensively. We got to stay on top. We can't give up the explosive. That's the main thing. One of our main goals as well. When it comes to stopping the run, we know this team is an explosive team. So we got to be on top. We got to make sure we don't give up that play, and we got to stand up on the goal line and not let them in. So there's some things to learn from. We can get better there. Defensively is always room to improve, always things to grow from. But I'm happy where you felt like, oh, they can possibly get some momentum. But our guys, offense came out and shut it down really quickly. So proud of us for playing as guys.
All right, there you go. That's DeMeco Ryans. He's feeling it. I mean, and he should. They needed this win. They got this win, and they blew out the Ravens. Nobody. I mean, maybe you saw it coming. I thought this was a must-win ball game, but I thought the Texans did a good job of doing what few people were giving them credit to do. And when you score the most points that a John Harbaugh team has ever allowed, I think you should be pleased with it. Speaking of being pleased with it, let's hear from the peeps. Let's go to the super chat. We'll hear from CJ Stroud in a sec. We'll recap. We'll get the Kings of the Turf, and we'll also give credit where it's due, presented by the greatness that is TDECU. Let's swarm.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
320 says, Landry, you called it, bro. LFG. I don't know if I called it. I just said what they should do. I just said what they should do. I'm not gonna lie. Like when you look at that betting line and you see all the Ravens injuries and it still stays at 1.5, and the wise guys are betting on the Ravens, you do start to wonder, because I do have a lot of respect for what those guys do, but this is what a decent team is supposed to do. Look, things were not good for the Texans through the first 3 weeks. There might still be some concerns. I do think you put in perspective the teams you played the last 2 weeks, but when you do what they did, there is that. But at no point did we think this was a pulseless team. Like that's why it should have been expected to beat the Titans. It should have been expected to beat the Ravens, and they did it. And it's a good starting point. It's a great opportunity to regroup for the coaching staff and everything. So yeah, that's just what they needed to do. Zinister says, first franchise win in Baltimore. Would have rather gotten it with Lamar on the field, but no complaints here. Haven't said that in a while. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they get the win with Lamar out there, So I don't know. I mean, I beggars can't be choosers at this point. Zach says, much love, Landry. Hope the fam trip was great. Go Texans. They look great. Still want to see Woody more, but offense giving me hope. You think they come out with the same momentum after the bye? They better. I mean, they got a good Seattle team. Seattle, it's a tough place to play, and they got a good Seattle team, and it's going to be a weird one because it's going to be that 9:00 start on a Monday. So this is going to be a unique experience for them. But I think they can compete with Seattle for sure. If they win that, you're up to 500. The previously mentioned 5-5 stretch. You're going to have 3 straight games at home, and then you get the Titans. Things could be looking up for them, although the Colts continue to kind of roll. Dietology says Ravens fans saying, who is Noel after he danced. By the way, that was a savage move by Jalen Noel. You score your first touchdown, really haven't been that much of a part of the offense, and you hit him with the Ray Lewis dance. That is the ultimate disrespect that kind of support. I support that type of vibe. Logan Taylor says, was DeMeco or Burke calling the defense? It looked like Burke was calling it for a large portion of what I saw. But I don't know that was a permanent thing at all. Jeffrey says, Noel doing the Ray suck it Baltimore. Is that dog worthy?
I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog.
I think that's pretty damn dog worthy to hit him with the Ray on their field. I think that's pretty damn dog worthy. So I ballsy, but hey, why the hell not? Why the hell not? If you can do it, do it. And he did it, and it was the ultimate FU. Nick Jones says DeMeco giving up defensive play calling is the best thing in 2 years. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens if that continues. We'll see how I would say maybe the next 4 games. We'll see if he's so comfortable doing that. But the competition is going to increase. You got Seattle. San Francisco's depleted, but we saw that they're kind of pretty resilient. They'll probably be a little bit healthier when you face them. Denver just beat the Eagles. So they're obviously a pretty good ball club. And then you're going to have Tennessee and sprinkle in another one in there. So the competition's definitely going to increase. MH Wheat Nation says the way the defense is playing, Burke might be getting lots of head coach interviews next season. I would doubt it. I don't think Matt Burke's going to be a head coach. Nathan Palmer says Kaylee finally threw away the Patriots playbook and opened up the McVay playbook. I don't know what he did, but I do like he was savage. Nick Kaylee was a savage today. I thought he showed a real good feel at the end of the first half where there was like a healthy amount of aggressiveness. He let the clock go down to the 2-minute warning, and then they attacked. This is more of a DeMeco decision, but when they were up big, they decided to go forward on 4th and 1. British Brooks, that's another. They've added to their repertoire when it comes to short yardage, and I think that's kind of important. Like we've seen Woody Marks move the chains on like 3rd and 4. We've seen the QB sneak. And now British Brooks is another element. So it does feel like the playbook has expanded, and it does seem like there is some adaptability by Kaylee. So I think that's a good thing. I don't know whether he's going to say that he just completely changed the playbook, but there's for sure a hell of a lot more options, for sure on that. And I told y'all, British Brooks, watch him. And watch him carrying the rock. We asked Kaylee about that. We'll get into that a little bit later. But first, let's talk about the Kings of the Turf, presented by the greatness that is Texans Turf. Shout out to Dan and his team for doing what they did to my backyard. I shopped around. I wanted the turf, but it got a little bit discouraging because a lot of these companies, quite frankly, they're lazy. They don't provide the customization. They don't put every ounce of effort into the detail. They don't provide the drainage. But Dan and his team do that. And they don't try to take advantage of you with some BS minimum. They go out there, they grind. You can hit them up anytime, and they take care of it. Whether you want a play area, whether you want a putting green, they got you covered. And shout out to the greatness that is Texans Turf and Dan and his team doing what they do and what they did for me. Go to TexansTurf.com if you've been thinking about it. They'll come out there. They'll look at your spot. They'll customize it. They'll give you recommendations. There's multiple options as to what kind of turf you want. And I absolutely love it. Easy cleanup. And the pet and the daughter love it as well. We do it every single post-game show. It is the Kings of the Turf presented by Texans Turf. The 3 players of the game. Number 1, quarterback, CJ Stroud. One of his better games, one of his better performances. Not just the way, like every manner in which a quarterback can make a play, CJ Stroud did it today. He was buying time. He was throwing in rhythm. He was extending plays. He was playing. He was playing from the pocket. CJ Stroud was great today. And maybe this is a game, regardless of who you're going against, where his confidence increases. He's walked off that field twice with his head down. He's walked off the field 3 times with his head down against the Baltimore Ravens. So maybe it means a little bit more to CJ Stroud, but 4 touchdown passes, I don't know that we've seen him much better than that. That looked like 2023 CJ Stroud, and that's an easy decision. King of the turf, CJ. Number 2, we talk about his coverage a lot. Jalen Petrie, 2 interceptions, the best play of his career, the way that he jumped that interception to start the second half. John Harbaugh went up there with a straight face and said, if we score here, we can win this game. And I was like, okay, coach. Well, they got a first down, and then Jalen Petrie jumped in front of it, and the Texans, they weren't looking back to begin with. They damn sure weren't looking back there. And he made John Harbaugh look as silly as he initially did. Next King of the Turf, the final one, Xavier Hutchinson. First and second career touchdown today. The back shoulder one was nasty. That looked like, guys, CJ Stroud talks about communication a lot. The second touchdown, that back shoulder, that was nasty by Xavier Hutchinson. And that was some good chemistry. And this is what we saw in camp, and this is what we saw today. So CJ Stroud, Jalen Petrie, Xavier Hutchinson are your Kings of the Turf, presented by Texans Turf. Go to TexansTurf.com. Let them do for you what they did for me. Speaking of CJ Stroud, let's hear from CJ Stroud and what he had to say after the dub. Here's CJ Stroud coming off one of the better games that we've seen him play in a long time. Let's hear what he had to say about it.
Yeah, our O lineman did a great job, and that's where it starts. I think I'm one of the best. When I get the time and I can deal it out. And our O line did amazing this game, and when that happens, Kels is calling a great game, and our receivers running really good routes. We've been getting better at practice every week, and I think that's where you see the growth. But yeah, it really starts with him.
Having seen what you all did, how satisfying is it to see that come to fruition?
Yeah, it's very, it's you always want to, see your proof in the pudding, and you want to take a step forward every game. So I thought, today we did that in a lot of ways. Still got to clean some things up, but I'm happy with the win. Very grateful. Just to really have opportunity playing Baltimore again. Get a dub, first time in our organization's history to win up here. So God's great, man. It's just amazing, to be on this team in his locker room, and so all the things that we need to get better, we'll get better. But it's good to enjoy it.
Scored on the first 8 possessions that you guys had offensively. Talk about that and the fact that you were able to move it all around so many people.
Yeah, that was one of our keys of victory. Sustain drives and score in the end zone, and in any way we wanted to score points. So I thought we did a good job, really, on first down, and giving Kels a good opportunity to call good plays, in second and short, and third and short, and then we managed those situations really well. But yeah, I thought that's the key to those are the keys of victory every week. Is to be really good on first down, and you get those opportunities when you got the third and shorts, and you can execute a little easier when it's third and short. That's not what I said. You're good.
He was joking, dude. How is this getting asked?
I was literally joking. Everybody takes everything out of context nowadays.
Was,
but it's all good. I'm, and if you watch the video or watch the press, I literally said I'm not in my grown man body yet, and I'm not even there. It's all good. But yeah, I feel great, man. I think my strength staff has done a great job with not only just me, but our team. We're moving guys. Our O-line looks great. We're running fast on the outside. I'm a part of that. I think I'm a pretty athletic guy. But yeah, I was literally just playing. If you can see, I'm tapping my fingers, just messing around. But everybody, always takes everything so serious. But yeah, it's all good. Yes, I feel like I'm, when I use my legs, I feel like I'm pretty dynamic.
CJ, I know that coaches and players are forward looking, right? But
how much of the past, like the fact that you guys hadn't won in Baltimore and what Baltimore did to you last year in Houston, how much of that did you think about, or was that a motivating factor coming in today?
I mean, I think in the back of your mind, it's always there, that, we really haven't had success against these guys in a long time. But I think, like it's the preparation that gets the win. I think that's what was like we prepared our tails off this week. I thought our preparation from practice to meetings to walkthroughs, like everything was really crisp, on point. And I think it doesn't matter like who's out there when you have that type of preparation. Of course, like they're missing guys. That's obvious, and I think they'll be just fine once they get their guys back. But I think it's just big because we had the same problem last year when we played them. We had a lot of guys out on Christmas Day, and they gave us an old fashioned. So I think it's cool like to kind of come back here and kind of do the same thing. But I think the motivation is just to prepare the right way and then play each play and 1-0.
What about coaching Jalen in the first touchdown race professionals? What that means for you guys?
I think it's huge. We have a really young team. Got rookie left tackle. Me and Jake are young, center quarterback. Trying to think of everybody. The receivers, you got young DBs. So I think that's good though. And we're playing good ball. I think our coaching has been good. They've helped us with good coaching points week in and week out. But yeah, it's just huge to see those two guys blossom. Especially they were former teammates. For them to play like they did today was huge, and really proud of them. And their continued growth and effort every day at practice is paying off.
What are you hoping the team in general can take from this as you are?
I don't know. We can be really good. When we clean up mistakes, don't have a bunch of penalties, and play complementary football in 3 phases. I think this is what you get. So I think we're really close, man. We've always been close, but in this league, it doesn't matter when you're close. But you want to see production, you want to see wins. And so I think we'll be able to flip the script here coming these next couple weeks, and try to just finish October really well. I don't know. I'm grateful just to be 24, man, and I'm blessed, man. Guys are good. Just to be in this position is huge, and maybe it rubbed off a little bit, but I'm just really grateful for the position guys put me in, and then this team, man, this city, and all the people who support me day to day, man. It means a bunch. Like even on my birthday, it was a bunch of people texting me, telling me how much they appreciated me, they loved me, and I feel such like a flawed human. I'm not perfect in a lot of areas, but just to feel the love was huge, and I think maybe that kind of spilled out, this week at this game, and man, I'm just grateful. Mm-hmm. I think Tay's done a great job. First and foremost, his mentality, his effort. He has God-given talent, and it just takes some plays, and like I've told y'all before, it takes failure sometimes, and I wouldn't say he's had like failure moments. Everybody has all like one play here, one play there, but I thought he's done a great job of just weathering the storm, staying committed, staying rooted in what he believes in, and that's himself. And I'm just super grateful that he's on our team. He's going to be a great player in his league. And then the rest of our line does a great job. I thought our plan today was great. I thought Cole and Kels and Jerry Gerard, our whole offensive staff did a great job, with the plan. And then Titus you've been huge, man. He's playing at I think an All-Pro level, Pro Bowl level, and he's looks great. He's holding it down the right. Our center, Jake is doing great. I think all of them are doing really good. Ed looks great. Juice has filled in and done a good job. So I can go on and on with all those guys, man. I'm really proud of them, and we continue to grow. Thank you. All right.
Yeah. CJ Stroud, hell of a game by him. Regardless of the opponent. I mean, we've seen CJ struggle against some meh opponents, and it was a big dub for him. He was one of the kings of the turf. Let's talk about, speaking of CJ Stroud, what does SNL, Landry Locker, and Cody Stoots, what do we have in common with CJ Stroud? We represent TDECU. Reaction Mondays are brought to you by TDECU, and right now, perfect time to get some Texans gear. No matter what you want to wear, get the Texans gear. And when you have the TDECU Texans debit card with that fresh, clean logo on it, you'll save 17% at the Texans online team shop. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, no matter what, it's all 15% off. Show your Texans pride and score savings while you do it. Visit TDECU.org/Texans. Get your card today. Membership required, insured by NCUA. And that's not all they got going. They got a lot going on. And in the spirit of TDECU and the great things they do with your credits, let's do the TDECU where credit is due. And I got 4 today. 4 guys I've got to give credit to. 4 guys I got to give credit to. Number 1 is British Brooks. We saw British Brooks. You were warned. British Brooks was there. He moved the chains a couple of times. I think this is your future fullback. He's already really good on special teams. But fullback, we're going to see British Brooks a little bit more than expected. I don't know. I think he's better than Jakob Johnson. So we could see British Brooks staying there. Jalen Knoll. First career touchdown. You hit him with the Ray Lewis dance in Baltimore. I'm going to give you credit. That is worth credit all in itself. And then Juice Scruggs. You know, we've mentioned this offense and how much better they look, and I do think the opponents factor in. But I also think Juice Scruggs is a clear upgrade over Laken Tomlinson. Like, since Juice Scruggs has played, and initially it was kind of a rotation, but since he has taken over the majority of the snaps at left guard, the offensive line play has improved. I don't think it's a coincidence. And Nick Caley, we were talking Patriot Way a couple of weeks. Nick Caley, he's been dialed in the last 5 quarters. They went damn near 5 quarters without punting, and Nick Caley's doing his thing, adding new elements to the offense. That is this week's TDECU, where credit is due. Again, TDECU.org/Texans. Get that debit card. And Reaction Monday, as always, with myself and Cody Stoots, is sponsored on SNL by TDECU. So shout outs to them. Let's go through the big plays, the big moments in a sec. First, let's go to the chat. Zinister back for more.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm
Says, can we acknowledge how awesome it was finally having an announcer show us respect? And all it took was JJ Watt being in the booth. He was good. Yeah, JJ did his thing. JJ's doing a great job with this. I think him and Eagle are the best duo. I don't even think it's close. I don't think Nance and Romo are even like in the same ballpark as that duo. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before Ian gets that A spot. ESG Soccer says, I'm happier, but we have played 2 of the worst teams in the league. Offensive line still horrendous. Went for the rushing TD because of that old man talk. You're talking about Nick Chubb. Yeah, Nick Chubb was fine. I mean, he's been okay. I think he's a nice compliment to Woody Marks. I would like to have more playmaking running backs. But while I do agree with you, they have played 2 of the worst teams. Beggars can't be choosers. And I don't think any ass whooping like this, where you score 40 plus and win by 30 plus, can really be minimized. And I also think the O-line looks better. I think Popovich has done a good job.
Pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, lock, and drop
Look, I don't think it's going to be one of the best O-lines in the league, but I think they look better than they did last year. And I like that they didn't treat Laken Tomlinson like they did Shaq Mason. Shaq Mason was, and Kenyon Green too. Like, they held on to their jobs no matter what. I think the fact that they're willing to make the change, I got to salute Cole Popovich for that.
Pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, lock, and
So I'll give him his credit. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's just kind of is what it is. You heard CJ mention the old man comment, and I saw some people in the chat saying the media is weird. That's social media, brother. There's no legitimate media person that actually took that serious. I think sometimes we lump in social media with media. I think media deserves criticism. I'm a media type. I will criticize media, but that's social media. That's more of a social media thing. And that media guy asking that's a lazy ass dude who just, the aggregator gets him to not even take the time to read the comment and see what's going on. So that's what that was. So, but that's not media. That's social media, which I think we kind of lump in, and they go hand in hand. Luis says in Baltimore for the game, H-Town showed up big time. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. No matter what you say, they showed up in a big way. And let's kind of get into it. Let's go through what happened. I thought interesting right off the top, Christian Harris, he was inactive. That penny stock that I bought, that I stocked up on, it's now a half cent. Christian Harris, a healthy scratch. I thought that the guy that we saw in 2023 still existed. I guess they don't feel that way, and the defense is playing good enough. So Christian Harris, a healthy scratch today, and quite frankly, they didn't miss him. Opening drive, I thought it was perfect. It was an absolute clinic. The opening drive, it was capped off with the Xavier Hutchinson's first touchdown. You had right off the top, Nico Collins for 25 yards. 3rd and 1. I warned you, British Brooks. He moves the chains out of the 3-point stance at fullback. Then a nice little grab by Higgins. Dalton Schultz with a 3rd down catch. And then the Xavier Hutchinson touchdown. First of his career, first of the season, obviously, and plenty more where that came from. So I thought that was perfect. Then the Ravens kind of sent a message. And we've talked a lot about like early game messages, but I thought the Ravens kind of sent a message on their first drive where Baltimore, they started out well, but then they settle for 3. And let's just be real. The Ravens are one of the more aggressive 4th down teams. The fact that they drove the ball the way they did, and on 4th and a long 2, they decided to kick the field goal, that told you everything you needed to know about this game. That told you everything you needed to know about this game and just how much different things are when they have Lamar Jackson. Like their entire philosophy is different when Lamar Jackson's not in the game. So I thought that was kind of an early message, much like when McVay decided to punt to basically tap out on 3rd and 9 in a 1-possession game. I thought that was kind of an early message from them. Then the Texans, they get 3. Kaimi Fairbairn field goal to make it 10-7. Hot weather Kaimi. He likes the hot weather. He kicks good there. So the Texans extend it back to a touchdown. And then the Ravens defense just disappears. They don't get another first down till their final drive. They disappear, and the Texans offense just keeps humming. I thought it was a great decision by DeMeco to make the Ravens repunt on the penalty. I heard Andre Ware, I think, said, you know, I was listening on the radio. He said that he would have taken the yards. I disagree. I thought it was a great job. And it set up the Nico Collins touchdown. And it was an FU drive. 2 possessions right there. The fact that Baltimore doesn't have Lamar Jackson, like 2 possessions, it was pretty much a wrap. And that was enough to win the game. But you could tell right there, that was when, if you were hesitant, if you were factoring in the history of the Texans and dropping games like this, I think this is where you kind of breathe easy, maybe pop open a beer and just kind of sit back, relax, kick your feet up. And it's all going to be fine. And you had the CJ Stroud long run, the 29-yarder to set it up. Harrison Bryant had his TD taken away, but the Texans took a 17-3 lead, and then another 3-and-out by Baltimore, and this is where just the assing is unleashed. Texans extended to 24-3. You had Dalton Schultz with a 21-yard catch. Christian Kirk draws the PI, and then just the beautiful textbook back shoulder throw to Xavier Hutchinson. Just as good as it gets as far as chemistry and what we saw in camp with CJ and Xavier Hutchinson. Then the Ravens, they would miss a field goal to leave it at 24-3 at half. I thought MJ Stewart had an interesting drive here. He had a play on the sidelines where he forced Baltimore to take their final timeout outside of field goal range. And then he picked up a penalty that allowed them to attempt a field goal, which was missed. So I think MJ Stewart's been an upgrade over CJ Gardner-Johnson, and just an interesting little up and down there, but no harm, no foul, 24-3. Then John Harbaugh comes out, and I thought this was weird. John Harbaugh comes out before the second half, and he says, if we score here, we got a chance to win. I'm not going to lie. I had already made my thumbnail and my title. Texans, like what you see right there, Texans dominate Ravens and get much needed win heading into bye. That was posted online. I didn't even wait. So I didn't feel that way. John Harbaugh felt that way. And I just wondered, okay, well, is there something to it? Ravens moved the chains, but then Jalen Petrie makes an elite play on the ball to start the third quarter. And this is where it gets like really ugly. You have Nick Chubb with the long run on the outside, probably the biggest burst we've seen from him this year. And then in the third quarter, the Ravens just kind of quit. They run the ball on third and medium. Then they act like they're going to go for it on 4th and 2. They get a penalty, and then they decide to punt. Fairbairn adds another field goal, 57-yarder here to make it 34-3. Or excuse me, 37-3. And then you have Baltimore. They cut the lead to 34-10. Or it might have been 34, 37-9, 34. Then the Fairbairn field goal. And this is where you kind of realize the Texans are just kind of being mean now. They stayed aggressive in the third quarter, 4th and 1 at their own 39, and they go to Old Faithful. And I warned you, people. I told you. I said more British Brooks is going to happen. That was one of the videos. I even asked Nick Caley about it, and here was what the Texans offensive coordinator said about one of the new short yardage options for the Texans.
British get fullback rep in the last game. Is that something that you could kind of envision with Yakabel? British perhaps being a bigger part of the offense in that area?
Yeah, he's like a Swiss Army knife, really. I mean, you know, we're lucky to have him. It's, you know, the more you can do like anything else, I think he embodies that. So whether it's fullback role, whether it's obviously in the kicking game, but even carrying the ball in the backfield, like he does a lot of those things well. He's been steady ever since we, you know, starting from training camp, and we're lucky to have a guy like him on the team, and he's very unselfish. So, you know.
Yep, he's a skull crusher, and he ended up doing his thing. Then the start of the fourth quarter, Nick Caley dials up a bomb. Little Christian Kirk sighting. Had been kind of quiet.
Captain Kirk, can you save me? Captain Kirk, I want to have your baby.
You get Christian Kirk with the long bomb, add the face mask, get inside the 5-yard line, and then Jalen Knoll with the ultimate disrespect. He scores a touchdown, and then he does the Ray Lewis dance, which Jair Alexander defended the honor of the Ravens, trying to take his game ball, which I thought was a good bit. But Jalen Knoll, second Iowa State receiver to have his first career touchdown in this game, third in the last 2 weeks. He gets the touchdown, and he kind of just shows off. And then speaking of showing off, Jalen Petrie, another interception. We talk about the coverage a lot. Another interception. Mark Andrews, we've seen him drop. So the technical stuff will get us out of here. They got me. I give Jalen Petrie respect, and that's what I get there. But yeah, there's a little echo. It's not going to be as good a quality, but we'll just make do and get out of here into Reaction Monday. But yeah, the Ravens offense died after the opening drive. That was the dub. Biggest takeaways of the game, and you had the Lassiter interception as well. Biggest takeaways as we get the hell out of here for Reaction Monday is, number one, this win should not be minimized. Beggars can't be choosers. Dominant performances like this, it wasn't expected by anyone. They do it. It's good. I do still think that you can put it in perspective and acknowledge that the Texans have beat some bad teams, but I don't think you can minimize this win. The 5-5 goal that we've talked about for week 11, you might be able to tweak it. You might be able to get greedy now. You still got Tennessee. You got that long stretch. You might be able to talk 6-4 if this team can get some stuff going. So I think you got to give them some credit for that. Then we have this question: can the Texans beat good teams? That's going to be what determines the fate of the Texans moving forward. Can they beat good teams? Can the Texans beat good teams? That's going to be a question that they're going to have to figure out. And that's what's really going to determine their fate. Can they do that? And I think it's perfect timing for the bye week. I like that there's emerging offensive weapons from British Brooks to Jalen Knoll. Dalton Schultz looks like contract year. Dalton Schultz, he's doing his thing. And it's, again, 44 points, the most allowed in the Harbaugh era. Again, don't minimize that. You got to feel pretty good about it. So that's where they are. Colts, by the way, they continue to hum. You just got to take care of your business and just see where you get. Jags got the Chiefs on Monday, so we'll see how that whole thing goes. Appreciate everyone for rolling through. It didn't crap out too bad. We're going to be good. And always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Reaction Monday tomorrow with myself and Cody Stoots. We'll wait for the media availability schedule before we give the specifics on that. The Texans Collective, subscribe to that channel if you have not. That's in the description. That will be live tomorrow at 6. We should hear from Nick Caserio this week. It's going to be a fun bye week. I'm going to go to Vegas this week, but I will be live Monday through Thursday, and I'll have something drop on Friday as well because the content doesn't stop. Subscribe, like, ride along. Shout out to TDECU, Sleeper. Take advantage of that promo, $20, no obligations with them. And Texans Turf, if you want to get in the turf game, check them out. Appreciate y'all for rolling through. Always remember, when it comes to this Texans stuff, whether you want to style point it or not, we're all in it together. Appreciate it.
On YouTube, we got taste for days, opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We number one. You don't need to try your luck.